Well, Christmas for you was 5 days ago, but Christmas for me is right now because this channel is on a delay. Merry Christmas, folks. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Today, I was really looking forward to buying myself Pro Q4 as a Christmas gift to myself and exploring that with you guys and getting to like put it on things and be like, wow, look how simple this is. Look how cool this is. You know, look, let's do the soothe thing, you know, like side chain my vocals out of the rest of the mix, you know, create a pocket form. I'm really excited to try that. But I made a mistake when I bought it, like a clerical error. That means I don't have the software and I'm struggling to get their support to work right now. So it'll be maybe a day before I get that taken care of, and that's a bummer. But in the meantime, just got back in, worked on the house track we've been working on here. Baby Blue, I think is probably what I'm calling it. I worked on kind of this next section here, and I don't know. It's kind of a harsh transition between the two right now, but there's some really cool ideas of things we're doing over here. So I'll just kind of play it from the drop prior into this new section here, and you can kind of hear what we got going on. A lot of really fun stuff going on in there. The most cool of which is these two sounds playing with each other at the same time. Like, what is going on, right? This sound up here is the same sound we've had going in the background of our track for a while now. This guy. He's got a little melody in there that he hasn't had before, and also mainly just kind of like opened up the filter that was on the end that was kind of keeping it muted down, so it's a little bit more bright and brilliant there. But there was kind of the way I got to where I'm at right now. I'm gonna mute this for now and talk about that one last. A few people had commented that like, oh, this isn't a house track, which I disagree with, but they also made the point that like house is all about like groove and bass, and to a good point, the bass in this is pretty boring so far, and because that's just not what is drawing the attention in this track, I don't think. But in this new section, I'm like, oh, what if we tried that? What if we tried like making this section a little bit more bass groovy? And so I took, well, this is a really cool groove, right? If I mute all the bass stuff we've got going on and just kind of play this track. Is like a really cool rhythm here with a like 2/16 on, 1/16 off, sort of dotted quarter, dotted eighth style. Yeah, dotted quarter here. Kind of style of groove. Obviously, me just saying with no backing tempo doesn't help your ear get an anchor at all. But it's a cool sound. I thought that was a cool groove. So I'm like, well, what if we tried making the bass into that groove? What would be the easiest way to do that? The first thing I did, quick tangent, the sub looks different than it did yesterday because I actually got this into one of Bishu's feedback streams, and he was like, hey, you should make the sub stronger. I feel like the sub is just I'm not really noticing it at all. So I did a few things there. The main thing is I put the lower fourth note on its own channel. So this note is up here and that note is down there. And on this second channel, I just have more partials in the waves, so there is a little bit stronger. It's kind of splitting the difference. It's kind of going down the octave and up the octave, because it just when it drops down the octave, it really was pretty hard to hear. Because of that, I now have a sub bus here, and so to like, how do I make the bass that is just kind of going womp womp womp? You know, it's just over here. It's just following the side chain. and just kind of like just giving us that pulsing rhythm. How do I make that more interesting? Over here, it's kind of following the rhythm of our guy up here. Pretty fun. Obviously, there's a few pockets in there where it's not the same because it is really getting out of the way of the kick as something that would really interfere with it. I made that in this guy. It is with a volume shaper, and this is just following that exact meter. Now, obviously, this should be if it's following the exact MIDI data of what we saw up there on the synth. These would be one note, not two notes. But the synth has a kind of like 16th note phase movement in it that makes it feel like it's two notes on, one note off, kind of sound. And so I drew a bunch of ramps in the right shapes and then just kind of tweaked their positionings. It was really cool to like put these little flexor nodes, these circle ones, in the middle, and then you can shift and grab a section, and I was able to grab all of them and move them all up together, kind of the way you do in Serum, but when you just hold Option, it moves kind of the fluctuation of any LFO together. So I was able to make the shape here and pretty cleanly and easily make this section just do the same thing. Fun. But when you play the track without this other instrument we have in here, sounds good. It quickly gets, the space becomes narrow. And now we're just like there's like no reverb happening. It's like a very clean, kind of dry signal that I wanted something that had a little more space to it. So the first thing I thought of was, all right, I didn't come up with the sound. The sound was a preset that I just liked it. I just clicked around on the pads. I did, though, add this filter here at the end to give it a tremolo. If I turn this off, this is what the pad sounded like when I found it. It's nice, simple, kind of like super saw type vibe. But you put this this tremolo on it, basically that I made it with this filter. And that's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, but it's really cool sound, completely covering up our cool rhythm on that synth. And so I was like, okay, well, I could put this on that, I could make that same shaper box on this guy, right? So it's all doing that together. And I'm like, well, okay, that's not going to really help with the space thing I was talking about. The space, I wanted there to be more space. If I'm only hearing that spacious sound at the exact same time I'm hearing these really tight sounds, I don't think it's really going to sound that way. So then my brain had the cool, ingenious idea of what if I just do the opposite on this one. So this one is filling in all the gaps that is being created by that rhythm, and it by itself sounds like this. Which is kind of crazy. Kind of a nutty rhythm, but when you put this into the gaps, personally, I think that's sick. I think that's a really, really cool, vibey, like, the sound is very kind of steady. There's a lot to listen to, and it's just like one sound's doing a rhythm and the other sound's just completely filling in the gaps every time. It's just this really cool effect. It does, though, create kind of a bed of sound. It does not do a good job of having there be something for your ear to grab onto, which maybe for like these two repeats is fine. I don't know, but I feel like there still should be like some sort of like melodic something over the top of this. We're literally coming out of a very melodic section, so I don't know what the right answer is there. I'll keep messing with it, but this was a fun thing to achieve, And yeah, excited to see where we go from here. Merry Christmas, y'all. Hope you're having a wonderful new year out there. I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of music. Bye-bye.